Na mtazamaji, sasa hivi msemaji wa serikali Erick Kiraithi kule Mombasa anatoa taarifa kwa vyombo vya habari kuhusiana na siasa za pwani za Kenya na hali ya usalama. Moja kwa moja twende kule.
And indeed, political discourse is an integral part of any vibrant democracy. However, our attention has been drawn to some very, very deceptive and misleading political campaign. And most unfortunately today I will expressly say it from NASA, that is likely to derail this country if our citizens don't remain wise and vigilant. As a way of putting things into perspective, in 2010, barely 7 years ago, Kenyans went to a referendum to pass one of the most progressive constitutions in democracy today. And this constitution came hot on the heels of another document called Vision 2030, whose aim is to make this country a newly industrialized, middle-income economy, offering a high quality of life to all its citizens by the year 2030. The drive by the government to divert from politics of power, which we enjoyed for quite some decades prior to 2003, to politics of serious development, had started as early as 2004. If most of you who are around can recall very well, prior to that, cabinet ministers and political politics used to walk around with a lot of money in their pockets. However, areas like infrastructure, which spur the economic growth, areas like water management, dams and all that, suffered very greatly from this. And in the run-up to 2007, a lot of political commentators were continuously complaining that there is no more money in the economy. And this is because politicians did not have money in their pockets. When you listen to the undertones of what we are being told today, it is very much the same thing. Politicians are uncomfortable with a government which is diverting all money to the SGR, all attention to electricity connection, and all attention to free education. These are the things which remove money from the pockets of politicians. And therefore, when we do a good research of our recent political past, what is becoming very apparent is that 2007, as much as it was a political dispute, it can be called the first revolt against Vision 2030. What we are seeing today is a second revolt against a system of government that is putting money strictly in areas that will expand the economy. The corruption issue notwithstanding, nobody has disputed that in the last 5 years, we have invested a lot of money as a country and attention to development. A constitution which is barely 10 years old, what we are hearing now is that the demands of secession, the demands of resisting enterprises, which have taken a lot of government policy direction to grow, issues of suspending the constitution, all these issues are not likely to create a better life for Kenyans. The issues that bring comfort and convenience to the ordinary citizens, these things are not geared towards that. Instead, an illusion has been created where the Mwananchi is being promised an utopia, a canon whose details are only known to those who are preaching that canon. We are therefore asking the citizens to focus more on areas which will food production, areas of developing enterprises, and basically to ignore any political talk that is not within the constitution we've passed and any activity geared at disrupting the retail entrepreneurship we have in this country. Kenyans might not know, but our major problem is underdevelopment. We are very poor because of poor infrastructure, poor utilization of things like water resources, and that is why the government has mainly concentrated on that. Finally, we would want to inform Kenyans that the government is aware of some of the challenges they are facing, notwithstanding the fact that explanations have been given on the Laikipia shooting of 70 animals in a shootout between the police and the herders who had invaded private land. The government will actually now carry out an in-depth investigation and find out whether the only bullets that killed the animals belonged to the police or there were other mischievous players within the vicinity. Elsewhere, our government is making every effort to ensure that relationship with our neighbors remain cordial and this country moves forward. In the meantime, we are wishing all our candidates, from 4 candidates who are undergoing their exams now, and we are appealing to politicians. We know you are thirsty for power. We know you want to continue being felt, but let us desist as a country from any activity that can disrupt this important exercise. Because as much as you think you are on top of things, Kenyans will not forgive you if you disrupt the SCE examinations. Thank you. Yes. Suala la na ujeniambia jina lako? Mimi naitwa Liberty Adede. Bwana Adede, tungetaka kuambia Wakenya kwamba kama serikali kama tutaendelea kuishi majirani na Uganda, wavuvi wa Kenya kuingia Uganda na kutega samaki, wezi wa Uganda kuingia Kenya na kuiba gari ama baisikeli ama pikipiki, na vyombo vya usalama Kenya ama Uganda kuchukua hatua kulingana na sheria zao, ni jambo ambalo litaendelea. Tusije tukaangalia ile hali ya mambo yanayoendelea na Uganda ni kama ni jambo kubwa sana. Haya ni mambo ya kawaida na tusiweke siasa ndani. Kuhusiana na uhusiano wetu na Tanzania, tumesema kama serikali, na nitasema kwa Kiingereza, we would have wished that the issue of our herders getting into Tanzania illegally could have been handled in a better way. But it does not substantially affect our relationship with Tanzania, our East African brothers. And we also maintain that getting into Tanzania illegally is also exposing yourself to the laws of that country. And Tanzania was strictly within their right to do what they did. It is permitted under their law. We are informed they followed all the due process. However, we shall continue deliberations to see that we share a people, we share a border, we share the community to see how matters of this nature can be solved in future, because we are not foreseeing a situation where a Maasai family in Kenya with cousins in Tanzania and vice versa will not really cross the border in a manner they understand as a community, not necessarily in the manner we understand as governments. Yes.
Mohamed Ahmed from Daily Nation.
No.
President Magufuli stated that he will continue confiscating the livestock if they are found grazing in their lands. As the Kenyan government, he also said that you can do the same. Are you going to do the same to the livestock that they come to Kenya?
Well, His Excellency, the President of Tanzania, what he says while addressing his citizens is not a matter of which I can actually respond to. And there is a diplomatic manner to address those issues, so we cannot, we have a lot of, there is a protocol for that. Yeah. Nam?
What is your take about this recent issues that NASA will try to ensure that President Uhuru hawezi kuapishwa hata kama Supreme Court imeamua hivyo?
What I would want to tell you, my friends, is that the law is the law, and Kenya has adequate capacity to enforce the law. What is legally binding to be done shall be done, whether one or two people like it or not. And therefore, I would urge everybody, including NASA, to remain within the law. We have a constitution which has provided ways of changing it. So if you are not happy with the constitution as it is, there are avenues in parliament, there are avenues in a referendum. These other noises will only destabilize this country. I saw a statement indicating that members of parliament are now supposed to go to the county assembly. We are telling Kenyans to protect their institutions. If a man was elected by the people to go to parliament and he doesn't like the idea, he cannot decide to walk into a county assembly. He has no space there. Once again, we are telling Kenyans, whatever influence you enjoy, use it to influence Kenyans to contribute to a cause that will improve their life. Certainly, the current political discourse is good for you if you are 70 years old. It is good for politicians who are of an age gone by. The liberation politics, the politics of we are liberating ourselves. What we are supposed to be liberating ourselves from now is stinging poverty, stinging insecurity, and to come together as a country so that we have more food production, we have better infrastructure for investors. It is very unfortunate that part of the talk now is trying to bring down the few investments we have here. The ordinary mwananchi might not know, but we are seriously underdeveloped. Yeah. Okay, gentlemen and ladies. Yeah. Yeah. On Sarigo, I believe I know you. The issue of secession is actually a combination of very many factors. There are fellows who have become governors, and they became governors at a time devolution. They did not have enough measures to ensure that offices are not abused. These people are now on their final and last term, and they are looking for ways of being relevant after 2022. They have enjoyed the position. You have heard the talk of people wanting to be sultan and all that nonsense. And these people have tasted that power, and they think that they should have more of it. That is one aspect we would want to encourage you to realize, that people who are not capable of sweeping their streets, people who cannot account authentically for the money they received the last time, are the ones now talking about secession. Anything which can be done within the law is okay, but I think the talk now is totally diversionary, and it has a political agenda that might not be necessarily in the interest of the Republic of Kenya. Yeah. So, thank you very much for listening to us. As journalists, we urge you to look at deeper. You have a lot of influence, you enjoy a lot of influence. Look at the current situation from a deeper perspective, because if we don't develop this country, then the younger generation, not very young generation, the youth now, we are talking about 18 to 35, 60% unemployed, then we shall not be able to move this country to the level Vision 20 that envisaged. Thank you very much.